himself, Luis Garcia. Luis, what happened in that second half? Barcelona grabbed the lead, looked to be in control, and suddenly it fell apart.
Yeah, looked promising the second 45 minutes for Barcelona. They look more solid at the back, no feeling that vulnerability we saw in the recent games, controlling the game, creating chances, but until there. I think that once again we saw Barcelona that is feeling so much pressure that when they arrived the last day, the players just kind of block themselves because it's not even one or two or three chances that they had in front of goal. They're just missing so many.
They continue to happen. And again, I'm only talking about this week, but I can tell you with certainty, because I've sat here and watched it time and time again, they've been doing this all year.
Shaka, how do we explain it? Obviously, we're looking at the starting 11 right now. There is no Ter Stegen, but this team was so good defensively. I mean, by far the fewest goals conceded in La Liga a year ago. How are they having so many problems in that same area now with the same manager in charge?
Defending comes down to basics. And just being willing to do the simple things, sometimes the ugly things, and deal with it as it comes. You cannot excuse that goal that you saw against Valencia. I mean, talk about defending basics. The ball goes half a mile in the air and nobody gets to the bottom of it. And that just speaks to a team that I think, while we could all point to lacking leadership, and you'd probably be right about Barcelona defensively. Nobody takes any kind of initiative in and around the box. But it's just about doing the simple things that you expect any defender to do. Every single defender at this level of the game has to be able to head a ball. Yet nobody gets himself in any kind of position. Not once, but twice. The ball bounces, loops back up in the air, and still nobody's anywhere near it. That is, to Ali's point, that really is under 12 stuff. You don't see that at any higher level. Barcelona cannot continue doing that and expect to get away with it.
As a manager, what do you do? What's the fix? Is it personnel? Is it tactics?
Well, I think at some point you start babying this team and you take the gloves off and you say, look, the pressure is going to come. Xavi continues to complain about the pressure that's being put on this team. Guess what? In a game that you deemed as a final, you did not come up with a result. So don't you think there's more pressure that is going to come around your team? That people are not going to criticize your team? Of course. How do you get this pressure off of you? It's by performing. And to that point, then you do the things. There has to be a shape that this team can get to when they are struggling defensively. There has to be a plan that they need, that for them is step number one. When we're struggling, when we're hanging on, when we're defending, what is it that we need to do? And it's to the point that Xhaka was making. The basics of defending. What do we need to protect? What do we need to do in order to make sure that we're not beaten in moments in which we're controlling the game? How do we not get stretched so that moments of transitions continue to expose us time and time again? These are not questions that are groundbreaking. This is not. We're not trying to break some sort of new pattern of play here and coming up with a new idea. At some point, this comes to the responsibility of the players in taking on the pressure that comes with playing for Barcelona and being able to deliver on a consistent basis. And we have to say that this group of players this season has been more concerned about the pressure than their performances. And until they start performing, the pressure will continue to come.
Luis, I wonder from your perspective, what do you think the solution is here for Barcelona? And is there a solution? Can this team get out of this tailspin that really started back in late October when they blew the lead against Real Madrid in El Clasico? We're looking at the splits now. It was one season before that game, and seemingly, Luis, since it's been a totally different campaign and a totally different Barcelona team.
Yeah, definitely a totally different team. If we talk about the confidence on the players, this kind of mistake that we are talking about, the basic mistake, attacking the ball into the box, that's something that they will teach you when you are 12. But there is something that it goes far from that, because you cannot teach that. You cannot tell the players every single moment what they have to do. You have to know what you have to do. You have to have the awareness when you are in the box and what is happening around. Koundé is following the player. When there is a striker coming towards you, you cannot make that mistake because you are inside the box. One mistake into the box is going to cost you a goal. And that's something that a manager cannot tell you every single training. It's something that you need to understand. And right now, we've been talking about the leadership. We've been talking about communication, some things that it has to happen into the game by the players, not by the manager. The manager is going to set you up on the field. He's going to tell you what the things are going to look like playing against Barcelona and give you a few tips. After that, it's on your own. You have to make the decision. You have to take the decision to, I'm going to go and jump to that ball that is flying nowhere. It's coming with a little bit of snow because it went so high, and I'm going to tag it. Don't let it bounce once or twice because you're going to give the advantage to the opponent. So I think it's not only about the manager, it's about the players. They have to start thinking about themselves, understanding what is happening into the field and making a step forward, taking the decision and try to be a little bit more leaders, because on the field, you are the ones who have to take care of the things, not the man waiting for the manager to tell you what to do.
So there we have it. Valencia and Barcelona playing to a 1-1 draw at Mestalla.